When a COVID vaccine is finally approved, millions of doses will be shipped across the world. You've seen these signs at so many businesses, face coverings required. This is at a Walgreens. They're going to keep their sign, but not every business will. 3 weeks before Election Day, and the state has already mailed out 1.3 million ballots. That number is expected to go up to 1.7 million. They don't think it's a good idea for kids under 13 to be on Instagram. Why? Well, they say it could cause more harm than good.
Right now, you are looking at me on Instagram. You have to be at least 13 years old to use this site.
Mark, starting May 7th, if I'm on this side of the border and I'm outdoors and I'm at least 3 feet away from you, I can take off my mask. That's according to Governor McKee. But if I'm on this side of the border, well, in Massachusetts, the mask mandate continues. It's been almost a week, and police work here in Brockton still remains manual. That's because of the cyber attack. Tonight we're learning government agencies like police departments are being targeted more and more often. Heather, parents and students in Gardner are outraged. School leaders say violent, racist, and threatening emails were sent out to thousands of people. When police arrested the bus driver, they found the gun with 7 bullets inside. But when students found the gun, it was sitting in the back of the bus. The police are still very early in their investigation. As you can see, they've kind of held us back here with this police tape. They've surrounded this entire block here on Senator Bowling Circle with police tape. And you can see some detectives and some officers about 100 yards or so behind me. They've been going through the crime scene, talking to witnesses. It truly is remarkable the level of dedication some of these doctors have. They're getting the one-shot Johnson & Johnson doses from right here at South End Community Health Center. Then they're taking it to some of the housing units in this neighborhood saying, hey, who needs a vaccine? We got it right here. We're right around 9 or 10 inches as of right now. Since we saw you at the top of the 10 o'clock hour, I put my footprint in the snow. About 20 minutes later, that was gone. So about 15 minutes ago, I put another footprint in the snow, and you can see it's already almost filled up there. You can see it goes much deeper, but that's how fast the snow is coming down. That footprint, I literally put it 15 minutes ago, it's almost filled up, and that's just here on the sidewalk. These roads are just as bad. America has the most amount of cases in the world. The numbers are continuing to go up, and small household gatherings are a big part of that increase. So how do we have a safe but fun Thanksgiving? Well, I'll show you how. Before we go over things to be mindful of, let's first talk about what's not changing. First and foremost, we can still have a good meal. Nothing's changing there. I need the turkey, the mashed potatoes, the apple cider, the stuffing. Wait, do you say stuffing or dressing? Either way, nothing's changing here. All right, now let's talk about things to consider. You can still eat with your immediate family. Do you say pecan or pecan? For anyone else showing up, the CDC recommends you consider several factors, including the community COVID-19 levels, where you're gathering, and where people are traveling from. If more than one household is gathering, the CDC encourages families to bring food and drinks for members of their family only, and avoid potluck-style gathering. Instead, have a single mask-wearing person serve the food to keep from multiple people having to touch the serving utensils. If possible, consider an outdoor Thanksgiving, as this poses less of a threat than an indoor one. Hosts should also discourage guests from singing or shouting. It's pecan! It's also a good idea to get tested beforehand. If you're positive, awaiting results, have symptoms, are at an increased risk of severe illness, or if you might have been exposed within the last 14 days, it's better to have your Thanksgiving over video. It's not as intimate, but your family will thank you. Fortunately, all my friends have left me, but bottom line, Mark, is you want to make sure you are still practicing social distancing and at the same time limiting the amount of people that show up to your home. And all of these tips, Mark, go before, during, and after the meal. You know, Mark, while you're watching all that football on Boston 25 after Thanksgiving meal.
It's a tradition. Well, we don't know exactly what the weather will hold for us on Thanksgiving yet, Wale. So if it's impossible to be outdoors, are there any tips for when you have several people indoors?
Yeah, I got 3 things for you, Mark. Number 1, you want to arrange the furniture as best as possible to facilitate social distancing. Number 2, you want to be in a ventilated area if you're inside. If possible, maybe open the windows. And number 3, limit the amount of things that multiple people have to touch. When we first introduced you to 18-year-old, she wasn't walking across the stage with the top honor at her graduation.
As we take flight, please embrace joy. We are astronauts supernovas, visionaries on the moon.
Instead, she was leading a die-in for George Floyd at the Newton Town Hall.
We don't need people to know the vocabulary. We don't need to know the latest people who died. We need to know if you're going to put yourself on the line. We need to know if you are going to sacrifice something. I'm tired. I am tired. I am tired.
Last summer was full of passion, full of emotion, and raw realizations about our society. A lot of us have now taken our passion and our voices into the school building. We have talked about our curriculums, we've talked about our leadership and representation in our teachers and staff. So a lot of anti-racist leadership, a lot of discussions around how our school can embrace civic engagement.
If you ask her mom, this passion started from day one.
Monty has thrived since she was born, conceived. She's a preemie, and it was her self-determination then that took care of me.
Challenges in her upbringing have only intensified her drive.
I didn't have a home. Not long before I started kindergarten at Countryside, my mom and I were homeless.
Generations of domestic violence took the life of her grandmother and forced her and her mother into homelessness. Now the Harvard-bound student is breaking the mold in so many areas.
A very exciting experience, a very emotional experience, and it felt very liberating for me and my family. I'm a first-generation college student.
And as she says goodbye to high school,
Joy, thank you for being my guardian angel.
she decided to take someone with her.
This is my sister Joy. I decorated my kente cloth with her, and she suddenly passed away of an asthma attack in 7th grade. So I'm wearing her today so that we can graduate together and honoring her legacy and where I got my drive and vision from.
Okay, it's been a couple of weeks since your last vaccine shot, and you're fully vaccinated. You're ready to take off your mask and paint the entire town red. But wait, before you do, you'll want to watch the story. The light at the end of the COVID-19 tunnel has never been brighter as the CDC is now relaxing guidelines for wearing masks. I know. This mask is really annoying. It stinks. It's giving you acne. I get it. But before you take it off, you'll want to ask yourself these 4 questions. Where are you going? Who are you with? How rampant is COVID in your community? And when will you be fully vaccinated? The CDC says only unvaccinated people need to wear a mask for small outdoor gatherings. The CDC recommends only fully vaccinated people go to any crowded outdoor games or concerts and that they wear a mask while there. Vaccinated or not, the CDC says masks are unnecessary if you and your crew are running or biking outdoors. The CDC also says while outdoor visits and activities are much safer, people who are fully vaccinated can now participate in some of the indoor activities and visits, but they're still going to have to wear their masks. For those unvaccinated, the CDC says even if you wear a mask, it still isn't very safe to visit a barber or salon, go shopping, ride public transportation, or gather indoors or outdoors with people from multiple households. The CDC says it's even less safe to go to the gym, the movies, a worship service, or eat at an indoor restaurant. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Finally, you remember that 6 feet rule? Well, the CDC says if you're fully vaccinated, you don't have to worry about the 6 feet rule as much, nor do you have to worry about washing your hands as frequently. For now, that's the very latest. Live in Dedham, Wale Aliyu, Boston 25 News.